Hey, God bless you. Welcome to the Shepherd's Pasture. We are going to start it up today in chapter 4 of Genesis. We left you guys some time to go over our previous videos. We don't want to overload your donkey. The first couple of chapters in Genesis are a lot of information and a lot of independent studies that you can do within those chapters. But I tell you what we're going to do is we're going to start it up with chapter 4, and a quick summary. We're going to see the birth of Cain and Abel. We're going to notice that Cain and Abel were twins, and I will point out the murder of Abel from his brother Cain, and the mark that the Lord put on Cain for that murder, and also just the mark that Cain would take on across the land of Nod and to anywhere he went. We're going to go over the generations of Adam, the generations of Cain, and we're going to start off the word of wisdom from our Father. Chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. Verse 2. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. I want you guys to check out this word again and look it up in your Strong's Concordance, and you will find that it means continued in labor. This is how we document that these two are twins. And I also want to point out that they're not identical twins, because as you guys learned before, they have different fathers. Verse 3. In the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought fruit of the ground, an offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his contentments fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? And why is thy contentments fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. The Lord is trying to set Cain straight before he does a very stupid act. And we're going to find out what that act is here. Verse 8, And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. Cain was a murderer. Verse 9, And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? He's also a liar. And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. This is a figure of speech used in the Bible when it says the blood crieth from the ground. This is innocent blood. Verse 11, And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And so it was. Cain will be here soon thrown out of the garden, and he'll be a vagabond and a fugitive wherever he goes. Verse 13, And Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken upon him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any man should kill him. And this mark is an identifiable mark where we know who the descendants of Cain are, and the Kenites is how they're labeled throughout the Bible. You'll notice mark of the beast is in the forehead and in your right hand, and your hand is symbolic of what you do. And you're obviously in your forehead. It's not a tattoo on your forehead. It's in your mind, and it's what you do and what you believe that shows that mark. Verse 16, and Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. Now these peoples in the land of Nod were peoples from the 6th-day creation, not from the 8th-day creation. And verse 17, and Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city, and called the name of the city after his son Enoch. So here we see that Cain became a builder of cities for these people. And his first son's name was Enoch. And this documents that there were people. Again, verse 18. And unto Enoch was born Arad, and Arad begot Mehujael, and Mehujael begot Methuselah, and Methuselah begot Lamelech. And Lamelech took unto him 2 wives, and the name of the one was Ada, and the name of the other Zillah. And Ada bare Jubal, and he was the father of such that dwell in tents. These are tent dwellers. And such have cattle, and his brother's name was Jubal. And he was the father of all such as handled the harp and organ. These were beginnings of organ players and harp players through the descendants of Cain. Verse 22. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Nimamah. And Lamelech said unto his wives Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my woundings, and a young man to my hurt. 24. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamelech 70 and 70-fold. So as you can see, they have this vengeance about them, and they want to avenge Cain still. After these generations of people had passed, still got that hatred in their hearts to avenge a murderer. Verse 25. And Cain knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God said, she hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And this seed is the continuance of the Christ line. Christ came through Eve, as we learned through the other chapters, and Eve was the mother of all the living, because without Christ you're dead. And verse 26. And to Seth, to him also were born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. And as we can see, the ministry of Yahweh began with these Adamic souls, and the living souls that God created in the 8th day, not the 6th day. Alright, it's been a good recording. We're going to try another one. That's chapter 4 of Genesis. Hope you guys enjoyed.